Yes, indeed, the man on the Silver Mountain there by Hammerfall. A little bit of epic for you. This is Blue Please Him on WoW Radio with Total Biscuit. Right, okay. First rant over, let's go on to the second one. But first, it's time for our informative, useful feature, as we like to call it. It's working, yeah, it's working. It's working as intended, baby. Yeah, it is indeed working as intended, and this is the feature where we tax your brains to look for answers to Blizzard's pains. We try and think of things that Blizzard hasn't thought up yet. Answer those throbbing, evil questions. I really don't know. But you do. So, this week on Work Is Intended, I want you to try and solve the Kazzak problem. Now, recently on the EU boards, they've posted a policy for Lord Kazzak. And a list of things you now cannot do, including deliberately throwing yourself at Kazzak with no armor on to force him to go supreme, etc. Basically, it's griefing. And outdoor raid bosses, as you well know, are prone to it. So I want to know, how can we fix it? How can we make it so that outdoor raid bosses retain their individual character, but are not prone to the silliness and griefing of childish little morons who will insist on ruining fun for everyone else? I don't know the answer, but I'm sure you do. So, if you have an answer to that, how do we fix outdoor raid bosses and make them ungriefable while maintaining their individual character? Send an email to themurloc@gmail.com. That is themurloc, that's one word, no spaces, at gmail.com. And I should be reading those out as they come in all throughout the show. Oh yes, for those who don't know who Kazzak is, Lord Kazzak is a big feckin' demon. He's an outdoor raid boss. He does melt a lot of faces, has to be said. He is big. He's in the Blasted Lands. I believe he's in the Tainted Scar, down to the south of Blasted Lands. He is unpleasant. Getting to him is difficult enough. You've got to fight 61 elite demons to get to him. And then once you get to the bugger, he'll kick your ass. In 3 minutes, that's how long you have to beat him. In 3 minutes, he will go supreme, at which point he will kill anybody and everybody. He is evil. He regains 75% of his health if one of the people who are fighting him dies. However, this also means that an Alliance player, for instance, if there was a Horde raid, an Alliance player could take off their armor and run at Kazzak, get himself killed in the AoE, and Kazzak regains 75% of his health. Keep doing that until 3 minutes are over. Kazzak will go supreme and kick the smeg out of everybody. That's the problem, folks. It's griefing. Alliance will throw themselves at Horde. Horde will throw themselves at Alliance. But they won't kill them. No. No, they will not kill them. They will throw themselves at Kazzak to make it go supreme. And I've just been told that, yes, they have actually changed it to 4 minutes before it goes supreme rather than 3. That's nice, but it still doesn't solve the problem. So, I would ask you to see what you can think up. How do they fix Kazzak? And apparently it's 75,000 hit points. Not 75% health. I'm only going the information I'm given. I haven't had a chance to do Kazzak yet. I will, but I haven't had a chance. I've been told that it's 75% health. 75,000 hit points, same difference. So yes, I want to know, how do you fix Kazzak? How do you fix outdoor raid boss? This includes Aziragus and any future outdoor raid bosses. How do you fix it so that Kazzak cannot be griefed, but yet maintains his individual character of being an outdoor raid boss? So yes, email me. That's themurloc@gmail.com. That is themurloc@gmail.com with your suggestion. Also, I've just been told, yes, Instaban, that is not a solution. Because if you can't prove that they did it, they won't get banned for it. Yes, it's against the rules. It's exploiting. But you know for a fact, if you let them do it, if there's even the slightest inkling that they may be able to do it, they will do it. Some of these people will buy separate accounts to do it. They are that sad. You can't stop it by threatening to ban people. You can only stop it by fixing it in the game mechanics. Right, anyway, that's the Kazzak thing. Email themurloc@gmail.com for this week's Working As Intended and see if you can solve this problem. Right, back to fun things. Also, we thought Murloc pets. Those going to BlizzCon will be receiving a Murloc pet. Now, personally, I think that's a fantastic idea. That's a reason to go to BlizzCon in itself. I could take it in the auction house and annoy people with it. If it doesn't gurgle, there will be war. I threaten you this. There will be war if it does not gurgle. Preferably it should gurgle on command, just to annoy people. However, anyway, besides the point, as you know, if you listen to Blue Please, you will be aware that every now and again I go off on a rant about how stupid a lot of the WoW community is, and it's very sad. We do have a very stupid community here. There are a lot of exceptions to that rule, but I think, to be honest, if it is a minority, the minority is so vocal that it is drowning out any and all semblance of common sense in this community, and I don't like that. And this week, BlizzCon is on the agenda. I want to read you out a few choice forum posts about BlizzCon and how Blizzard is evil. It's prejudiced, and it's a profit-mongering, evil corporate whorebag. Or so they said. Right, here we go. Someone started a petition. They want the Murloc pet. Yeah? Now, they can't get the Murloc pet. It's a special goodie from BlizzCon. It's a little reward for getting off your ass and going to BlizzCon instead of sitting on your chair all bloody day and whining about the game. It's for people that like the game, it's for people that love the game, it's for people that want to meet their fellow WoW and Blizzard game players. And of course meet the Blizzard guys themselves. And that's fine. And here we go. I'm going to read you out a few choice posts. Zephos says this. Personally, I honestly don't think it's fair that someone should be able to get a pet just for attending the con. Why? Why not? Why is that not fair? It's a non-combat pet. It's a non-combat pet. I'll say this again. It is a non-combat pet. Do you think it's fair that as an engineer I can get a walking tiny bombling? Of course it isn't. You're a leather worker. You can't have it. Ha ha! It's just a pet. Now people are actually offering to pay dollars for this pet. Which is... wow. Just crazily wow. Now, it gets worse. Obviously, people always use threads like this as an excuse to whine at Blizzard because they haven't replied to their thread. You know, because Blizzard hasn't come to their doorstep with a fresh silver tray. And on that tray, they have a piece of paper that says, "You are awesome." And of course, you turn it over and you get a code for a free Murloc pet on the back. No. Nolm says, oh yes, ignore the 71-page anti-defense nerf thread and the 22-page continuation thread because the first one has more views than some of your 2-month-old public announcements have broke itself, and post about the upcoming goodie bags at your self-glorification festival. You cynical brat. Sorry, Blizzard trying to put on something fun for the fans. For the fans who don't slag them off every day of every week, who don't act that they're forced to play the game. You're not forced to play the game. You can, quite frankly, bugger off. Please do. And save us all a hassle. Yeah, Blizzard doesn't get everything right. Yeah, the game's got bugs in it. Yeah, some things go really wrong. Some things you think, what is Blizzard playing at? But at the end of the day, you should be playing the game because you enjoy it. And if you're not, you're an idiot. You're a stinking, festering moron. And we go down the page. Huron comes up with this gem. It actually is quite amusing to see Blizzard desperately adding free items with the hope to lure more players. Their little sideshow. Lure more players. Yeah. You do realise how limited these tickets are compared to how many people actually express an interest in going to this festival. We have 3.5 million players. There are only 4.8 thousand tickets. You don't think it's going to sell out? You're a moron. You're an imbecile. Absolute tit. Anyway, Yeah, this continues on. Whine, yeah. I can't go to the BlizzCon. I can't afford to go to the BlizzCon because I'm 12 and I'm still at school. Really? You know what? When I was 12, I didn't whine about this bollocks. I couldn't afford to do a lot of things. I didn't whine. I sucked it up. Stiff upper lip. What hell? Because I'm British. Now, I'm not going to say that it's just the Americans whining about this, which would be bizarre because it's in their country. The Europeans are whining as well. Whine. All the bloody time. Doesn't matter what Blizzard do. Someone will cry about it. Someone will bawl their little eyes out on the forums like a pathetic, snivelling worm. Ugh. Makes me sick just to think about it. It's a video game. It's a damn fun video game. That's the only reason I'm still playing it. This game has held my attention more than any other MMORPG ever. Why? Because it's got so many things fixed over the endless droves of clone MMORPGs. Did so many things right with the design, the character balancing, the level up system. The dungeons are all interesting, the items are interesting, the skills, the spells, the abilities, the PvP, it's all interesting and fun. And I don't need to play 24 hours a day to get the most out of it. And that's what Blizzard did for me. And that's what Blizzard did for you. And if you don't like it, smeg off. There was a comment made on the forums about how WoW Radio should be critical of Blizzard. We should be the independent eye in the sky, as it were. We should be criticising Blizzard's every move. Now, we do criticise Blizzard quite a lot. Sometimes unfairly. Sometimes we go off the hook. We go way, way beyond the line of decency. But at the end of the day, we love the game. And we're not going to tell you not to play it. That would be ridiculous. Because we'd lose listenership. I mean, it's illogical. If we convince you that the game is crap, and you all leave, then you're not going to listen to us anymore, are you? So, it's logical that we try and get as many people involved and excited about World of Warcraft as we can. Because that gets us more listeners. So, in the end, it's self-serving. And it would be self-suicide to turn people off WoW, rather than turn people onto it. Bad idea, folks. It's a very bad idea. It's very illogical. Anyway, yes, people whinge about BlizzCon. So, I thought, hey, that's a good subject for this week's Nubcake News. And that's what's coming up right now. It's Nubcake News, BlizzCon edition. Enjoy. Welcome to this week's edition of Nubcake News. Coming up later, a special report on the recently discovered real life and how it may affect our gaming lifestyles. But first, a wave of confusion and anger has been crashing across the WoW community today as popular toy manufacturer Blizzard announced its first annual discotheque, entitled BlizzCon, would actually take place in a real-life location. In a move probably inspired by international terrorism, California, a so-called real place in America, which has been described by scientists as a country, has been chosen as the venue for the BlizzCon. When this news was announced, the response could only be described as outrage, with millions of unhappy players venting their righteous rage at Blizzard for not situating the BlizzCon in a place they could all get to. The destruction caused by the subsequent rioting has been calculated at literally tens of dollars, with at least one dog kennel thought to have been badly scratched. In a statement, the game's alliance of noob killers Ganked praised the glory of Allah and said, "Blizzard's decision to host the BlizzCon in an actual place is utterly preposterous. Only one of our members can actually attend, meaning that only one of us will get to fat loot. This is outrageous. What exactly are we supposed to do? Fly? Come off it, Blizzard. Only birds fly, and we're not birds. We're gamers. Yeah, even Bob with the feathers." Blizzard's decision to host the BlizzCon in a place has confused business analysts the world over, who labelled the decision as ridiculous, absurd, and WTF. We managed to enlist the help of one of them to work out just how much it would actually cost for the average player to attend BlizzCon. After some careful calculations, he came up with the following figure.
$100 billion.
We sent a runner to Blizzard HQ for a response. He returned with arrows through his chest and missing his head. We sent a second runner to Blizzard HQ. He returned disemboweled and hacked to pieces. We sent a third runner to Blizzard HQ. He returned as a small pot of flambe. We wanted to send a fourth runner, but the fourth runner was suddenly struck down with an acute case of terror, so we decided to give him a call instead. This is what they had to say. Our decision to base the BlizzCon in a real-world location was based entirely upon our own evil corporate greed. All those who enter the BlizzCon will be captured and enslaved for our own maniacal means. We intend to... Psst! Bob! Stop telling them the damn plans! Oh yes, sorry, right, yeah. All those who enter the BlizzCon will be showered in cute little puppies and taken to the magical land of love beans, where fair-headed maidens will feed them grapes and chocolate and sing to them in perfect four-part harmony. Yes, all that will happen, and for a low, low price. Get a ticket now. Despite this incredibly convincing statement, No Cake News remains sceptical of Blizzard's true intentions. After all, what the hell are love beans anyway? This reporter will tell you for no less than...
$100 billion.
This has been No Cake News. Good night.